Did that come across clearly? So everyone, I will ask, kindly bear with us. We're just testing our the YouTuber, whether it's working, or at least to get it working clear. As is it okay? Good. Okay, I will suggest that we kick off right away. And so, hello everyone. It's Plan A here on behalf of my co-hosts Mike and Richie B. Thank you for attending our first TitanX Spaces session for the year. As usual, we will start by reviewing the stats for last week. In essence, our numbers, and of course where we are as of today. So I will suggest I do that first, and then I would hand over to Mike to take us through some of the work that he's doing on a lot of raw data that has been really useful, proven very useful to the community, and other work that he's doing. Okay, so I'm actually on the stats page of the TitanX website. So starting with the distribution, TitanX distribution. Currently we have 8.68% liquid, state 30%, as in 30.77% state. We have buy and burn 60.3%. I must say these are this looks very healthy. We have the buy and burn doing what it's meant to do. State, we've got nearly over 3 times the amount that we have liquid. We have state. So just looking at that snapshot of the health of the protocol, it really looks healthy. Now we can drill down a bit further, as I intend to do, and just look at the hard, figures and or the numbers, and then of course we can then look at TitanX Watch, which gives us a bit more info on this. But let's go ahead. In terms of numbers, liquid, we've got 1.5 trillion approximately of TitanX on the market. So in total, the TitanX we have on the market is really about 1.5 trillion. In terms of USD, it's just over 3 million USD. I think we remarked last session that if you look at the buy and burn, and this was, of course, during our last session, we had at the time about 32 million USD worth of ETH. And I think we remarked that if you were to sell every TitanX that is currently circulating in the market, and of course last week was a bit less than what we have today, we could sell the circulating supply about 10 times over. I think we do know that over the last week, the buy and burn pools have been quite active. And what we have today, as of today in the buy and burn pool, V1 and V2 combined would be, I think, about 26 to 27 million. That's still very good, very healthy. And so it's important for us to track this and to continually take the vitals, so to speak, of the protocol. And so long and short of it, the protocol is still highly liquid. The last couple of days notwithstanding, as in the high level of TitanX tokens that hit the market, as well as the sell pressure that has been experienced. I think we need these sort of stress tests to really test the protocol and for us to really have the confidence that is necessary to move forward and to and to actually explain this to prospective joiners. So, long and short of it, I think from my side, I am happy how this looks, and looking forward, I think great things to come. Now, staked, we're talking about approximately, just rounding it up, it's 5.3 trillion staked. This number has been growing. I think the message has been, the message is getting through. It's long and short of it. The message is being really communicated in different ways. And if you look at where we were, say, a month ago, where a lot of participants or people who wanted to join the protocol didn't really understand it, that kept their focus on the price, you can actually see that that mindset is shifting in a way. People are really now getting to grips with the fact that there is a lot more play in this protocol than just the price action. Penalties, it's 23 billion TitanX tokens. That's about 46,000 or 47,000 USD. I'm just rounding it up. And buy and burn, just skip to that. It's I'll use 10.4 trillion in total. In terms of USD, it's 21 million USD in USD terms. And in terms of LP fees burned, we're talking about 19.9 trillion. And that's rounding it up. In terms of USD, it's 40.3 USD, as in 40,000. Let's say 40,300 USD. Again, I'm rounding that up. So long and short of it, just from this snapshot, really looks good. And of course, any questions concerning these, the data here, please feel free to ask when we get into the discussion part of of this session. But now let me just go very quickly through TitanX.watch. Miners, we have 245,245 mines, the same numbers. So I would say if you compare that for sort of day on day or week on week, there has been a continuous increase in mines. So if you look at day 64, for instance, day 64 was 228,445 mines. And look at today, because today 72, and of course we still have a few more hours left in the day. So we have, as mentioned earlier, 245,245. So long and short of it, week on week, there is definitely an increase. Yeah, so that looks good as well. This is something that we all could do, and I hope that we all are doing, taking a look at these numbers and keeping an eye on the progress of this, of the protocol, because that really is where the confidence will come from, and to know that we're heading in the right direction. Okay, so quickly, in terms of user growth, day 64 as well, we had 11,984. Day 72, that's today, we have 12,799 users. Now, this mean, yeah, this is good. I can't just overstate that. In terms of stakes, we have 9,729. It says in the last 24 hours, there's been 0 stakes. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just carrying on, amount spent on mining so far is 102 million, just rounding down, 102 million, which is good so far within the last 22 or 24 hours. 886,000 USD worth of ETH has been spent on mining. So, and that, just rounding that down. So a good amount. You could actually approximate that to almost since about 900,000 USD in the last 24 hours. That's nothing to snare about. So that's good. Now let me just amount spent on staking. It's been 10.8 million USD. Now just carrying on. It says, of course, in the last 24 hours, spent on staking, it's minus 726 USD. Now, that is something I would need some explanation on. So that's that. I'll just park that there. But that's on the amount spent on staking. Now, buy and burn, we've spent 44 million USD, which is good. In the last 24 hours, buy and burn, it's 1.3 million has gone into, has been, yes, tokens bought and burned. Okay, so just quickly, just going through to see what else. Our buy and burn balance is 26.5 million. We talked about that already. And I know the T rank bonus has been added to the site. So there is a lot here that we can continue to use in terms of understanding the general direction of the protocol. So I think that gives us a quick snapshot as to where we are. I think we looked at a couple of figures from last week. That's the user growth and the miners growth. I think on that note, I would want to hand over to Mike to take us through the bits that he wants to discuss, and then we can then come back and continue. Mike, over to you. Yes, I do.
trying to see. I don't know. Is this? Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. Okay. Hopefully this is recorded. Then I might re-upload this as well. So anyway, I'll just continue. I have unmuted myself on. I don't know. I hopefully this works. Otherwise, hopefully this is going to be recorded. Sound is back on. Fantastic. All right. So you guys missed me a little bit there on YouTube. So sorry for that. Hopefully this is going to be fixed. Otherwise, I can just re-upload the video. Yeah. So just one little note regarding the early adoption amplifier. I did a live stream, and some few people they don't understand how the adoption amplifier works. So probably just a quick note how this works. If you start your miner today, this is I'm just scrolling up here. It's you're gonna lock in that 7.97 million. Sorry, 7.97%, which if you start your miner today, let's say, right, you're going the mintable TitanX per day is the 6.237 million, and you're going to get an extra 7.97 million as EAA bonus. And if you run it for next, so 2 days, let's say, you also the the TitanX mintable will decrease, but you're still going to receive the same early adoption amplifier percentage. Yeah. So when you start your miner, you lock in your EAA, even as daily TitanX mintable decreases. So that's something just important for people to understand. I saw that I think there was a little misunderstanding on how that works. So that's the first point. The second point is obviously we can just go to the TitanX community dashboard. I mean, there's some few things which Plan A has already basically said, so I'm just going to skip on that because he mentioned that already. And I mean, sure, one of the things here is probably the minted tokens by day. As we can see, the day, this should be day 71. Yeah. So far, day 71 has been the highest mintable tokens, well, the highest which we've ever minted up to now. Yeah, so this is the basically the new record on minted tokens per day. And if we look in the future, in the upcoming future, which is now, so today is day 72. So in the upcoming days, there's definitely going to be more of that for sure, especially if you look at day 83. Yeah, there's definitely more coming out there. So probably if we just look at the sheet and if we look day 83, yeah, so probably most people were targeting the 28-day payout, and obviously there's like, I mean, they're targeting 28-day payout, the 8-day payout on day 88, and the 90-day payout. So obviously I think these people were definitely targeting those days, and I mean that's why a lot of supply is coming out. So obviously when there's a lot of supply is coming out, there's definitely some percentages of people who are going to sell, and that's definitely going to hurt the price for sure. But also, some of the good news is obviously a lot of projects are coming out very soon, and that I'm coming to my third point. And my third point is I have started creating a Google Sheet, and I'm collecting all the data of all projects which are building on top of TitanX. And I'm gonna make a tweet just very soon, and you guys gonna all have access to this. And I'm slowly collecting more and more data. Please be sure, probably some of the things I'm trying my best to not make any mistake, and if there's any mistake on the Google Sheet, please just let me know and I will fix it as soon as possible. But nevertheless, this is just an information just for you guys to just have something so that you can just go and see the website if there's any is also there. I've got the Twitter account to all the projects and the Telegram. And yeah, potentially this is just for information, is not any endorsement or whatsoever, but it's just so that you guys have something so that you can go and visit and check out. And I'm building it up slowly more and more. So for instance, on the category, you can see here, for now, I have utility, and then I have utility and derivative. So, I mean, some of these categories might need some refinement, but I think for now, until, my idea is always just get something going and then refine it as we go. So iterating on the process. And then one thing I added as well is the burn category. So one thing interesting for sure is that you can, I mean, up to now, most of the projects which I have gathered information for, they're all burning TitanX, liquid TitanX. So if you just check what is going to be coming out in the next few days, especially day 83 or so, there's going to be a lot of liquid coming out, and potentially, any projects which is going to be launching is definitely going to take some of that supply out. So, I mean, if I look now, the only launch date I found so far is for Dragon X, and that's going to be on the 15th to the 18th of January, sometimes there. So potentially that is going to take some of that liquid supply out of the market. So I think that's good. And obviously, one of the changes which was made is that Hyper is you're gonna need liquid TitanX for Hyper. So that's also very interesting for sure, because with a lot of that supply coming out, obviously something like Hyper, which you need now, liquid TitanX is definitely a great play, because more supply coming out, the better is other projects which can burn it. So we don't have a launch date for Hyper yet, but hopefully we're gonna get soon. And one of the things I read on the Titan Blaze Telegram, I think the launch date for that is after Hyper. And all the other projects, I haven't got more information, but I'm gonna update all the information here as we go. So this is just the starting point, but I just thought I might as well just give the information out right now, because so you guys can have something at least to start with, especially just their Twitter and the Telegram. Maybe you're more interested and you can jump on their Telegram and maybe ask more questions. So nevertheless, this is my points I just wanted to make. Thank you very much. And I'm still here. So come up, ask your questions, and then we get this thing rolling.
Thanks, Mike. Well, again, welcome everyone. I would like to just to mention, just going back to the TitanX watch, I didn't mention the daily inflation figures. That wasn't intentional. So let me just quickly say that our daily inflation for the last 24 hours is approximately 287 billion TitanX. So I think what we do know that we're in the hyperinflationary phase of the project. The project is, after all, 72 days old. We're expecting to go into a hyperdeflationary phase once, of course, Hyper and the other projects that we know are being built. So in terms of performance, in terms of with respect to inflation, now I think we've had deflationary data. I think deflationary dates here, where there's certain days where we've had deflation, and certain days, of course, we've had inflation. So even though it's a hyperinflationary phase, we have had deflation on certain days. So long and short of it, that is, of course, part of the story. So we should keep an eye on it. Now just moving on, I'd like to suggest this session, as is in the title, would be primarily dedicated to discussing efforts to add value to TitanX. So primarily, building on TitanX. So any views, ideas, and thoughts are welcome. I think with Mike's explanation as to the work he's doing, that Excel sheet that he's building out would really be very helpful in providing high-level information to the community. Again, it's not an endorsement on any of the projects rather. So I would suggest, in our efforts to find information on the various projects, that we utilize that tool as a high level, information, and drill down by sort of visiting the Telegram groups of the various projects and ask questions that we may have. Now, can I just, before I sort of open up the floor, and would like to say that you probably have seen a tweet by Richie concerning an AMA that we've got penciled in for our next Spaces session on the 14th. The project is an NFT project called Titan Legends. It will be powered by TitanX. The founder is a member of our community and goes by the name Rudy Carzotti. So just to mention that next session, we are definitely going to be making room for Rudy Carzotti to explain his NFT project to us. And so let's just, we just going to watch this space, and we'll see, what he has for us. I think on a general note, we are encouraging, of course, builders on TitanX. That's really where we want to get to. But what we must make sure is that the community benefits, and we know the principles that the TitanX community stand for here. So we must encourage our builders, and as long as we are all on the same page, I think there'll be great things in store. Richie, do you have anything to add? And then we can open up.
I don't really have much to add. I mean, you guys are really hitting it. I just general synopsis, I guess, of the situation or just what's going on. In my view of how many ever 70 days, whatever we are in TitanX, it's just really fascinating. There's so many intelligent people and there's so much data and information. It took a long time to get this sort of things going in Hex in different projects. And so it's just fascinating to see what, it's sort of like, perpetually moving. So, but anyhow, there's just a lot of information on here. There was a guy, who's the guy, 10 something or other, 10X Ted, his doing analytics is, I don't think people are as hip on it, but he has some really great information on there, and just all you guys, Mike's, and just everybody showing up and all the green out there. And I'm more bullish today, and I mentioned the chart, and people get worked up. Some people, I guess, are FUD about the chart, and I posted something about perception, and miracles of change in perception, and the reality of duality and how we look at life and look at things. And there's optimism and pessimism, and there's always two sides to each coin, et cetera, et cetera. And it's all in how you look at it. All the information is there for you to see what's going on here. I'm very confident. I'm more confident today than I was yesterday about TitanX, and every day that it exists, I'm more confident than the day before. And so that's what we're looking at. I've made tweet after tweet about different things like this, and one of them is, it's not price action that I'm concerned with. I'm concerned about stability and about longevity, about time. And the longer it sits there and the longer TitanX exists, day by day by day, people will gain confidence in it. But, Bitcoin traded between $1 and $20 for a year and a half. Look at all these projects. That were mining projects or sort of in that genre, Hex. Look at how, 6 months it traded sideways and then kind of had a pump, or just go look at the charts. And so it's not anything new with any project that's hyperinflationary in the beginning that this happens. So I'm just like, some people won't get it and some people will get it, and everyone who's here gets it. And so, or they're trying to get it, and it's good. And so I really don't have a lot to say other than, there's all kind of information out there and everything is there for you to see if you want to see it. And, it comes down to faith, I guess, is the last thing that I would say. You have to have faith in something. And I always remember this when I was in college at the university. And I was I asked my physics professor about the Big Bang Theory. And I was just curious because, the law of conservation of energy says energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's only transferred from one form to another, the law of transference of energy and the law of conservation of energy. So he had taught this and I had learned this. And so I wondered about the Big Bang. It take a massive amount of energy to create this Big Bang, to create the universe. And because of the law of conservation of energy and transference of energy, I asked him, where did the energy come from for the Big Bang? And he said, the bang before that. And I said, well, where did that energy, the bang before that? And he said, fuck it, you have to have faith in something. So whether it's God or the Big Bang or TitanX or Bitcoin or, you getting in the car and trusting the driver that you're going isn't going to come across the lane or, stepping off a curb and somebody's not going to, all these things require faith is what I'm saying. And so the people who, it's a leverage play on Ethereum, TitanX, it's a leverage play on faith. And whoever believes in it first and understands it first will be rewarded the most. So that's pretty much all I have to say, but I'm really glad to see everybody out here and everything like that.
Thanks, Richie. Thank you. Utah Crypto, I know you wanted to say something. Over to you.
Hey, Plan A. I just want to say thanks, for you and Richie and Mike Dean for everything that you guys have been doing for the community from very early on. I mean, you and Mike jumped right on it. You know what I mean? You were hosting these spaces like right after launch, and Mike had data coming like right after launch. It was like, whoa, where's all this coming from? So it's appreciated, and with the data that we can see, and we know what's coming, right? Like if you're in this community, in the data, like Richie said, the data is right there. We already know this is coming. All my onboards, they already knew, that January could get ugly. And nobody's panicking in my camp, because we're looking at the big picture here. I mean, how bullish is it? You got all these projects that are coming out and they're all going to burn TitanX, it sounds good to me. If you're burning TitanX, you're a friend of mine, and you can just see the maturity in the community these days. I'm a mod in the Telegram chat for Titan, and 2 weeks after launch, when we were down in this price area, oh man, it was so ugly and there was so much panic, and it was just, man, it was really a shit show. And when I was in there this morning, it's not like that. I mean, there's a little bit here and there, but nothing like it was early on, because people are starting to understand, what's going on here. This isn't a pump and dump, This is got to have vision. Like Richie says, you got to have some faith also. And I'm not worried at all. I am stoked, because I feel like, to me, and this is not financial advice, my personal stance, I feel like this is the calm before the storm right here. You know what I mean? We're gonna, to me, this is kind of like the final shakeout. Like, okay, whoever holds through this and builds positions, in the next couple months, I think it's going to be awesome. And that's all I wanted to say. And, once again, thank you for everybody in the community. This community is awesome. Super knowledgeable. The people in this community are smart. I mean, when I'm moderating the Telegram chat, I'm learning from some of these dudes in here. Like, people are sharp in this community. So feels good to be early. Feels good to be in a good community. And that's all I got.
Thanks, Utah Crypto. Masks. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Well, please, the floor is yours. Feel free. And welcome back.
Here it comes. Here it comes. I'm ready. So you already know what I'm giving you. I'm giving you that S on the chest, hopium.
Very good.
I'm giving you that S on the chest, hopium. I want to load you up with it because hyper's coming, baby. It is coming, and I've been formulating on what it's going to bring. And when it does come, I think a lot of you are going to be surprised what that liquid's going to look like, and how much you're going to need liquid in stake form, and how much your ETH rewards are going to go up because people are going to be transferring from TitanX to Hyper. You already heard the game plan as far as like the tidbits and nits that Jack's been putting out. But if you go behind the game theory, behind the scenes, you're gonna need liquid. You're gonna need TitanX liquid, and you're gonna need TitanX liquid. You're gonna need a lot of it. And of course, if you've been behind the scenes, you know that you get the Hyper protocol as far as like the eight day. What I'm assuming is an 8 day. Based on what I heard, is an 8 day between the time that you put your TitanX in and the time that you get your Hyper, and that's going to create a arbitrage that's going to be like crazy opportunity to make money between that. Of course, we talked about the 28 day payout cycle, every 28 days, and that thing goes to zero. Jake says that thing goes to zero every time it's paid out. So you have to renew every time you get back in. So that means that there ain't no stake position. All of it's burnt. I'm talking about the Hyper aspect now. And so that means you have to start over on that Hyper reward, where 7% of the rewards are collected every 28 days. So that means more people have to get in. That means there's a bigger chunk. That means more TitanX has to be burnt at least every 28 days to get back into that big chunk of 7%. And the crazy part is, if the liquid gets too low, that means some people can put like $500-600 of burn $500 or $600 and possibly get that whole pot. I'm just telling you, if liquid gets extremely low, Hyper is going to be crazy, because there's not going to be enough liquid to hold up for what's actually being to hold up for the Hyper that's actually being put out, if that makes sense. Not only that, you have people also that's going to be staking for the ETH rewards. Also, that's going to put Hyper off, because can y'all hear me? Let me make sure I'm not rug myself.
Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you.
Okay, and so the span between burning the stake TitanX that you have currently in staking, that's going to be burnt. Oh, that's going to be burnt for Hyper, or burnt for Hyper also. So that means what's left. I'm talking about what's left. That means more ETH rewards. So the Titan that's left in there that's not being burnt for Hyper, that means you're going to get more ETH rewards, because that means your global rank is going to go up, which is going to allow more people with the TitanX that's left stake for higher rewards. And then you have to also know that the system is going down quick. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you look at the dashboard, like within the past like 60 days, like we've been going down like quicker than expected. I don't know if you guys have looked at that board and be like, man, wasn't that just different the other day? Like, what? So the percentage is going down each and every day. And of course, I know you guys see the calculations where you're not getting that same 5x for the 60 days, 5x for the 90 days. You have to literally go up to 100 days or 100 plus days, 120 days to get that nice 5x when you're making a miner. And that's on top of and of course that's on top of the T rank. So I just want to let you guys know, man, like it's there, it's there, it's there, it's profitable. You can make a lot of money in TitanX. I'm seeing that, of course, and we're all seeing that. But you definitely got to play the game correctly. So however you playing the game, please get your game tight, because when Hyper comes out, the dynamics between TitanX and Hyper is going to change the game of how TitanX is played. It's like we're playing 5D chess on a Monopoly board. And that's basically how it's going to, that's how I figured it's going to be, because you're going to have so many elements of, okay, what does this do when this happens? What does this do when this happens? How many days can I wait before the 28-day payout before I have to add hyper to it? Because I have to wait 8 days before I actually get my hyper. Well, what's the arbitrage between TitanX and do I need to buy at this time? Can I wait 6 months from now? What is that going to look like? What is our liquidity pool going to look like? Because like you said, anything in 30-day period right now is negative. Even things in like the 60 days is kind of like, and then so you means at least means 90 days, a full 90 days before, if you want profit, of course, and full 90 days, like significant profit. There's a full 90 days between where liquid, between TitanX between it being created and then it being burnt for hyper, where the supply is going to be less. And that liquid TitanX we're talking about is going to be less. So that means that whatever you buy whatever people buy off market is going to be more. And if it's too expensive, then people are going to start creating it. But then that puts more ETH rewards into the pool, which creates more of which creates more of that 7%. That, remember that 7% I was talking about on hyper side, that creates more on that side, what makes the incentive more, because I want to get a piece of that nice 7%. It's just so much we can get from hyper, and not only just hyper, TitanX alone. So gentlemen, please get your game tight. Like, that's just a couple of aspects of TitanX that we're talking about. I don't even know the full game plan, but that was basically what Jake was stating that would happen if TitanX when hyper comes to existence with TitanX. Another thing that I want to talk about, we need to talk about a meetup, like for real. Just a side note, we need to talk about like a meetup, a place where we all can meet at least once or twice a year, to have that community aspect that's not online. I mean, online presence has its I guess, cadence, but like, there's nothing like meeting a person in person. So that's the hype for the day. That's my hope for the day. That's that for the day. So I hope you all enjoyed, man. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Masks. That was really good. Thanks for kind of reminding us, why we're all here, and the passion really is I definitely felt that it kind of re-energizes you, and I think when we look at the first quarter, the first 6 months of this year, and what is to come, there is definitely everything to play for, everything to look forward to. So if we say, for instance, we look at this, the Bitcoin ETF may very well become a reality this week. It may very well be that we get news on that, either this week or next week. The halvening is in April, and that's, of course, second quarter. So just these 2 quarters, first quarter, second quarter, you have the halvening that we have to wait every 4 years for. And you have the ETF, the Bitcoin ETF, that we've been waiting for ages. Now, this is for years. There is a lot to play for here. And I haven't even mentioned the ETH ETF, which is something we know that BlackRock, the largest asset manager in the world, is making a play for. Now, I think what we need here is a bit of patience to understand that the price action here, as Richie said, isn't really, honestly, it isn't even 50% of the story for now. We are in the hyperinflationary stage. We're trying to get that, and during this phase, you want to get as many, TitanX tokens in as many hands as possible. Grow the community, and we've laid that foundation pretty pretty well and very quickly. So I think the first quarter of this year, really now, we are ready for the next phase. And if you then take into account Hyper 1 and 2 and the various projects that are being built and those to come, I think the first 6 months, the first 2 quarters of this year will be really good for TitanX. So just to mention, I think this needs to be stated and not be taken for granted, because of course, you know, they are detractors or people who sort of made it their business to be negative, to be frank with you, to be quite negative on this. And of course, on a personal level, you could just brush it aside because, of course, if one has done the work and researched this, been in this space quite a while and understands, these markets, you sort and the fundamentals of our project, you really sort of brush these negative comments and this negativity aside. But I think what we can't do is take it for granted that what needs to be said needs to be said. I think that's important. So yes, let me hand over to Richie. Richie, over to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a couple things on what you said, because obviously this is great ideas. But one of the things is look at the macro cycles as well. So, we're things within things, right? Fractals. So you start looking at macro cycles and micro cycles and micro coins like TitanX, and then you start looking at Bitcoin, which drives everything, right? And don't forget that every single cycle, the same thing, similar thing has happened, and there's going to be a pre-halving dump. This has happened every single time, and it's just the way cycles work, right? We dump, just like what's going on with TitanX, what goes on in a lot of coins, and what do you see immediately? Everyone sells that bottom, and then it pumps right back up. So an interesting idea, which I made a tweet and I kind of deleted because I don't like to talk about my own personal strategy, but a guy mentioned it, and it is something that I've calculated in. Okay, and I'm going to mention it here, and I deleted that tweet because I just wanted to mention it in spaces to people. But it is a strategy that I'm using, okay? And that strategy is that if Ethereum does this dump, there's a good chance, because it's so close to the original day one of TitanX, that we could see a day, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm prepared for it. We can see a day because of the price action. Remember that TitanX is a leverage play on Ethereum. Why do we say that? Okay, there's 4 things I can tell you just off the top of my head that will be very significantly affected with the price action of Ethereum. Remember, we live in a duality, right? Pessimism, optimism, 2 sides to every coin. The leverage play on ETH goes in both directions. So when ETH moons, it's going to increase the staking pools, right? Say on a double, just talk about doubles because they're easy to fathom. It doubles, the staking pools double. 10 million turns into 20 million. The buy and burn doubles. 30 million turns into 60 million. You understand? And so this buy and burn, all these different things, the cost of the miner doubles. If it was $500, it's $1,000 to start a next 280 miner. The opposite is true. If it cuts in half, then the max miner is $250. Okay. And if that happens, I did my calculations, and Mike D can verify this or not, but I did my calculations, and there's a potential that you could, because you would be able to get so many miners below the price of day one, that you could essentially be at day one prices with this action. So I want people to understand that this is crypto. This is how crypto works. Oh shit, oh my God, everything dumped 50%. Remember, the duality of reality, man. Optimism, pessimism, 2 sides to every coin. Was it tragic or was it a great opportunity? I'm an optimistic realist, okay? And so that's how I got to where I got in life. Being pessimistic and negative, you can do that all you want. You're going to live a miserable life. All right? Be wise. I'm an optimistic realist, though. I'm in reality. But listen to what I'm saying to you. I can't lose either way. If it goes down, I have money on the side and I can become a day one entrant as well as somebody who saw it on October 28th. It's a possibility, understand? And if it goes up, I've got a position that I'm going to become very wealthy. And so always look at opportunity. And this is what highly successful people do. They're highly adaptable. They look for opportunity. They see the positive in things, but they're realists about it too. Okay. And so just remember this. And then on the other end of the spectrum is what Planet was saying. If there's a Bitcoin ETF, you better believe there's going to be an Ethereum ETF. We already know this. ETF, whatever. And if that happens, remember both directions. Just remember this. And I tweeted this too, that the biggest factor of everything, hyper, all of it, the biggest factor in TitanX is the price of Ethereum.
It's great. Thanks, Richie. But you definitely said it better than I did. It's great. Well, let's see. Crypto Bag. Please feel free. And over to you. Meanwhile, if anyone wants to, sorry about that, Crypto Bag, if anyone wants to hop up, please send a request, and of course, I'll bring you up. Thank you. Thanks, Crypto Bag.
I was gonna ask, is there any plans on going cross-chain in the future?
No, there are no current plans as far as I'm aware. I think the idea is to establish on Ethereum, which we are in the process of doing, and Jake Sharp, who is, of course, the founder. I'm sure you know. I believe you know. But he's explained his rationale for that. Even though the door isn't completely closed, if there is going to be another chain, or if TitanX is to launch another chain, there are certain there is a criteria that chain will have to meet, including the volume that chain is able to command. And for now, I think, as you know, is it about 70% of DeFi in terms of volume is on Ethereum. So this is really where the action is. But of course, we'll keep an eye on the other chains, but there are no immediate plans at all to dissipate energy on other chains. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Okay, I think, again, anyone who wants to pop up, please feel free. In the meantime, I'd like to say, we do know that there are protocols that are being built here, but what would be helpful will be to increase the consultation with the community as to what type of projects or what type of protocols the community would like to see built on TitanX. And so I would like to pose that question here. And that is, what projects would we as a community like to see built on TitanX? It's all well and good founders and developers building, but I think that feedback from the community may really help both the community and the builders in a great way. So if you have any ideas of projects that you would like to see, please feel free to come up and mention and explain why.
Yeah, Yeah, and I want to say thanks for everyone coming, and give yourself a hand. That's 90 people on the spaces. That's pretty good. And don't be shy. Come up here. We talk a lot. We enjoy doing the spaces, but this is our community. I'm just the guy who showed up. These guys are just guys who showed up. So please, Mo, I'd love to hear from you. You guys out there, you guys are so knowledgeable, and you have your opinions and your ideas, and everyone's in general positive, and just don't be afraid to come up here and talk, and just, even if it's just, I love TitanX, so raise your hand and we'll call you up here, and don't be shy. We don't want to just be talking. We love to hear from you guys. Adam, all you guys.
Okay, I think I'm sure. Good. Well, we got a request. Let's see. Adam, the floor is yours.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Happy Sunday. Thanks for hosting. I think coming to what I want to see built on TitanX.
Hey guys, good morning. Can you all hear me?
Yes, but I think Adam is speaking. Titan stake it, but we can hear you. I think after Adam,
Just brief. I think it'd be cool to see a Launchpad website built that has a pretty UI and just basically gives a summary of each and everything that is going to be launching on TitanX. I know it doesn't really burn TitanX in sense, but it would be nice for onboarding. Like, I understand that Mike's doing his Excel sheet, but a pretty website with UI really does attract people. I know a lot of people in the Pulse Chain community built websites like that, and it was very helpful.
Thank you, Adam. Mike, do you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I will go ahead. I think that's a very good idea, and I'm gonna be working on it. I think I'm just collecting it now on Google Sheet so that we just have the information, and then while I'm preparing some few things here.
We'll add that to your stack of things on your desk, probably a mile high that you're working on. Thanks for everything you do, man.
No worries, man. Yeah, I'm trying to prioritize as much as I can, just trying to keep up a little bit. So, hey, I still have a day job, so that also needs my attention. So just trying to keep up everything. Obviously, TitanX is always on my mind, but the day jobs also is asking my time, unfortunately. But it is what it is. That's life.
Well, thanks, Adam, and thanks, Mike. I think long and short of it, Adam, I think this is something Mike is working on. I think you probably did use that, we'll just keep an eye on this space, but thanks a lot for that observation and comments. TitanX taker, over to you.
Hey guys, good morning. Thanks for having me on. Pretty exciting morning here, Adam. I was actually going to say exactly what you did last night. I was looking at some launch pads that I've been invested in since January of last year. My story is somebody who came into the 2017 top and didn't do very well. Anyways, after that point, I started educating myself, and the crypto space is just phenomenal. There's so much to learn, so much to know. It's not just about putting your money into something, it's about understanding cycle patterns, just like Richie was talking about, understanding that these cycles do reoccur. And if you believe in that, and you don't even have to be a technical analysis guy, all you have to do is educate yourself. What I did was I invested in a launch pad when it was at its bottom. because when I invested in it before, it was at its top. So when I saw the difference in price, I thought this is a no-brainer. Anyways, last night I was thinking, what else can be built on top of TitanX that would benefit our community? And I thought Launchpad. I just couldn't really put it together in my head on what it would look like. But that would be more up to people that are a little more technical, developers, people that have done this before. Anyways, I just wanted to kind of say a Launchpad would be awesome. A meme coin would be incredible too. A meme coin to me used to represent absolute garbage, just a way to throw away your money. But over this year, 2023, I educated myself. Like I said, I started understanding narratives. And the one thing I know, the one thing I've taught myself the most education I've received about crypto is about market cycles and how they work. Where we are today is, for me, the most exciting part of my 6-year history in crypto. And the reason why is because I have my bags packed for the first time. Not just with Titan, but I have Liquid. And I'm very proud to say that I understand what direction we're going in. If you can understand where you are in the market cycle and you have faith in what you're doing, that's in my opinion, that's the key to success. If you have a shitload of money and you go and invest at the top of the market cycle, you're going to get completely wrecked. And that's, for me, I just wanted to let everybody know, that's the one thing that gets me excited about TitanX. My wife and I talk every day, and tonight is the day where I get to claim. Luckily, I got in December 1st, and I spent a considerable amount of money on 38-day miners. And tonight I get to claim those miners. So my wife and I are talking about what we can do with not just the money. Like the money, we look at the price and it doesn't really matter to us anymore because we are projecting our beliefs out into the future. And looking at Ethereum, like Richie said, that's one thing I've been thinking about was what's going to happen with Ethereum? Well, in my opinion, the probability of Ethereum going up by 100% from where it is today is a huge probability. And that's where we are putting all our faith is the Bitcoin is going to pull everything with it. But we feel that Ethereum's a very strong player in the market now. It's been alive for 9 years. And as Ethereum pulls up, because TitanX is a play on Ethereum, we feel very confident that a lot of different things are going to happen to TitanX. So I wanted to kind of share that with you guys and reiterate. And yeah, so just say something. I'm part of the community. It's really nice to be able to share my thoughts and listen to you guys as well. Every time a space comes out, I get my coffee and we get to sit down and listen. And I feel fortunate to have the time to do that. So thank you very much, and looking forward to the next 6 months with you guys.
Hey, Mo, I sent you an invite to be a speaker. I don't know why I couldn't approve you. You asked to speak and it wouldn't let me approve it. So I sent you an invite, Mo.
Thanks. Thanks, Richie. Well, thanks, Richie, for that. And must say, TitanX Staker, thank you so much for your comments. I think you've also spoken for, I think, most people here. This, I think, to understand the protocol is definitely the first step to not get panicked out of your position by those who haven't done the work and are being negative for whatever reason. It is also the next thing to achieve for oneself. This protocol doesn't come every other day in this space. There are probably 10,000 protocols or crypto protocols out there. There are not many like TitanX. And if you've been around long enough, you will know that. You will know this is very special. And so thanks again for your comments. Definitely well said. Hodlnomics, over to you.
Yes, how are you guys doing? Thank you for having me on.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah, thanks.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, well, hey, real quick, I just wanted to make a quick announcement. I'm actually from the Pulse Chain gang, still learning about you guys, but you guys are doing an awesome job. I mean, as far as like marketing, everybody over in Pulse Chain loves you guys. And so anyways, I actually just wanted to say that I bridged some tokens over to Pulse Chain and created a liquidity pair with Pulse. Very small. It's only, let's see how much is in there. There's 6,000 in liquidity in there, but anybody can do it. It's kind of a thing, just FYI, if anybody wants to do it. And the ROI on some of these wrapped tokens, because not a lot of people are doing it, it's pretty good. Probably giving you a little bit of secrets, but anyways, just FYI, I can post a link that I just posted with some of the information, but if you guys want to like check and make sure it's legit kind of thing first, I know it's kind of weird for people to hear. A lot of people think it's scammy. Happy for you guys to do some due diligence on it. But anyways, yes, now there are some wrapped TitanX tokens on Pulse Chain available to trade.
Yeah, you know what? That's great, because that's what you should do as a community. Not wait for Jake, not wait for a developer, not wait for someone else. And that's one thing I love about this community is everyone can talk about any coin that they want to talk about, because this is the freedom thing, man. And this is what blockchain's supposed to be about: freedom of speech, freedom of movement, all the things Richard talked about. But let's see if it's true. And in this community, talk about your coins, bro. And no one's scared if you take your money somewhere else. Whatever, bro. I mean, it's all here. And I'm invested in other things. ICP, you see the things I do. And thank you for doing that, because you know what? It's a free market. And if people want to go over to Pulse Chain and go buy them some TitanX, go for it, man. And I think it's awesome. And thank you for doing it for the community, because whatever chains we can be on, somebody wants it on AVAX, somebody wants it on Solana, go put it on there and do what you did. Tell people about it. Cool. Awesome, man. Thanks for doing that, bro.
Yeah, happy to do it. Excited. It's excited to bring, good tokens over and build Pulse Chain at the same time. But I only do it with projects that I think are good, that are gonna, grow. And obviously it's kind of a good deal, because I don't just want to, throw up, random things. So you guys passed the test, by the way. I've been doing research for a couple of days. Awesome project, like awesome community, like keep doing. I'm still learning. I'm going to step down. I'm going to stay listening. But yeah, thank you guys for, beating the drums like you have been, and, creating opportunities for people like me as well.
Yeah. And as long as people aren't trying to rip people off, man, I mean, it's awesome. Build on it, do all the stuff, man. That's great.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it is important to know, if you are on Pulse Chain, right, any of the airdrops and some of these things that are going to be coming over will not count. So if you are wanting to get hyper or whatever, any of those types of things, you would need to bridge it back over. But hey, the token being 6,000 in liquidity, it's super volatile. So right now, let's see what the cost was. It's at 22. It was like at 28 a minute ago. It's been down to like, 18 for a little bit. So it's really good for, just accumulating or arbing, if you just kind of have a little bit in and out. So anyways, you can go play with it. There have been some fun stuff that people have done. And if I posted it in the link down at the bottom, I just posted a comment. You guys can just go check it out. And if you have any questions, shoot me a DM.
So it's 100% wrapped, right? So it's 1 for 1.
It is 1 for 1, yes. And the chart's all out of whack, because there was only like $3 or $4 in liquidity for the last couple months. But I rebalanced it out before I added it this morning. So it's pretty accurate now.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thanks, Hodlnomics. And it's really, really good to know. Again, thank you. Mo, are you still?
I wasn't able to add him as a listener or approve him, so I don't know if it's his end or mine, or maybe you or Mike can send him an invite. I don't know.
Okay. So Mo, I've sent you an invite. And if you're still struggling to get on, I think it probably would be a good idea to hop off and hop back on. Adam, in the meantime, I think you wanted to say something. You had your hand up.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to touch a little bit on what TitanX Stacker said and what the trajectory of the market is going to be like later on. A lot of people are calling for a double on ETH, a triple, a 4x. Like, you realize even a double on that makes a current max power miner $1,000. So that's another reason why today is always better than tomorrow. Another thing, if Ethereum doubles, it's going to be burning twice the amount of Titan. Turns from 500 billion roughly a day right now to 1 trillion tokens a day. And it deters miners because you don't want to start a $1,000 miner. It's always better to get in today. I wish I started more miners on day one when Ethereum was 1,700, but you live and you learn. So I think if you see where Ethereum is going, then the writing's on the wall. I can't stress enough that today is always better than tomorrow.
Great. Yes. So while we're waiting for any other comments or questions, can I just, I'll kind of throw this out there in terms of projects. I think we had Holdonomics talk about his, token pairs that he's doing over on Pulse Chain. But I think how are there sort of a DEX dedicated to TitanX sound to you or sound to us here? So it's dedicated to TitanX and TitanX specific projects. And the idea would, of course, be to build up liquidity and, of course, help TitanX grow its liquidity. That will be the long and short of it. At the same time, burning TitanX or Hyper and rewarding participants on the DEX protocol. I think that would be one, and the other would be a loan protocol or something similar to Liquidity, where, if you want, for want of a better word, excess TitanX tokens could be mopped up and a stable coin issued, which could be used to either buy more TitanX and add to the collateral that's provided on the loan on the loan protocol itself, or could be used for whatever the individual wants to use it for. I think the advantage of that, in my view, is that if it plays out well, you could reduce significantly the sell pressure that could occur on TitanX. Potentially. Of course, we've got about is it 9 projects or thereabouts currently? So each of these will be burning TitanX. So there's definitely going to be a lot of demand for TitanX, and probably some of these are going to burn Hyper. So in effect, these two protocols would just add to that buy pressure, or add to that collective of absorbing TitanX and absorbing Hyper, and of course then have an impact on the market price. I think Liquidity has done really well. It's not a project that, in fact, the founders have marketed in a big way, but it's a solid project. I think most of us here are probably aware of it. It probably is a tool that could be used. So from my point of view, I think I wanted to throw that out there. These are two protocols that I am particularly interested in for disclosure purposes with respect to TitanX. So please, if anybody has any, if you have any country review, or if you want to knock it, or if you have anything to add, please feel free to come up and and add to the discussion. Of course, the today's session really is primarily on building on TitanX and how we can add value and see that protocol that we all want to see. So please, if anyone wants to come up, please feel free. Mo, I think you could you can step in and take the floor. And of course, if you want to comment on what I've just said, feel free.
I appreciate you. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a little held up today with the caretaking. But what's up, TitanX? I hope you guys are all having a great start to the year. Earlier, someone mentioned meme coin, and as dumb as those are, most of us think they're still kind of fun. And a while ago, I made a post where I was like, hey, if I'm not talking about it, then I'm not associated with it. And the reason why I did that was someone started hounding me about making a meme coin out of my dog. And I was not interested in all. He wanted me to trade my logo. And as soon as I started asking him how it was going to benefit the community, the guy went totally silent on me. But that kind of got me thinking, it would be awesome to have some sort of a meme coin within TitanX, like some dragon meme coin or something like that, because they are fun. Those things are awesome. And I mean, it'd have to be some sort of a limited supply so that it doesn't get too crazy. And I don't quite know how to do the tokenomics on that to make it beneficial for the community. But if someone comes up with that, I know a lot of people would participate in that. So, I mean, I'm down with the idea of a meme coin. Not my dog, but, a dragon or something like that. I don't know. Just an idea. I think that'd be cool. Plan A, you're doing an awesome job. I appreciate you. I'm always trying to hop in here. I'm always listening somewhere off a computer or the TV on Google or something, but you guys always got my support. I appreciate you guys all. Richie, you guys need to listen to what he says. There's a lot of reading in between the lines, and there's a lot of gold to be mined from what he's posting. So you guys need to pay attention to some of these community members because they're trying to help you out as much as they can without spilling all the beans. So pay attention, read between the lines, and there's a community here that wants everyone to win and wants to support everyone. So just pay attention to the ones that are singing that tune, and I think you'll go very far in this community. So I appreciate you guys. Guys, have a good day. I gotta hop back off and go back to caretaking, but thanks for letting me hop on.
Thanks, Mo. Thanks for your contribution. Now, can I just say, just following on from where I left off on the projects that I wanted us to, that I was throwing out there for comments. Now, I think with the lending protocol, I would expect, I think we all will appreciate that with liquidity, there is this liquidation function. And so the collateral ratio is one that is particularly important, or else, the collateral that one is put up gets liquidated. So there's always that risk. Is that something we would want to have within, is that something we would like to have built on TitanX? The advantages notwithstanding, is it something that we think that the community would be comfortable to have? So it's something that I thought perhaps we can discuss here. And again, these are just ideas. These are just ideas. Feel free.
I'm not opposed to that idea. Do I think liquidation protocols are risky business? Do I play them? No. Do I believe in free markets? Yes. Anyone can do whatever they want with their own money, so go ahead. But just be careful. That's all I got to say about that. And as for the DEX that you were talking about, if it's rock solid and it has better fees than where I typically trade, I'm all for using that for sure.
Yeah, I agree with everything what he's saying, and I mean it's a free market, and I do love the mentality of TitanX that, you know, we've all been through, you know, different maxis and different things, and I think the mentality here is positive, love, happy, free markets, and kind of going back to the thesis of cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, you know, that it's a free market and people can do what they want. As long as people aren't trying to rug pull people and steal from people, we're all adults. And if people want to go into lending protocols, and there's definitely benefits in this. I mean, I've become very wealthy and I'm fortunate. And I've been through it, and you guys know it, and you've read my story and heard it. If you haven't, it's tweeted out. And I lived in my truck, you know, and the more assets you gather, the less you work, the more you do work on leverage, which is loans and different things. You keep your stuff liquidable, and so there is a place for lending, and there is a place for this. You know, it's just like, you know, Adam said, you know, we're all adults, and you know, I'll give you a story if you haven't heard it. You know, how I learned how to stop leverage trading. I got liquidated on my wife's birthday, and I never leverage trade again. And so everything is contrast, and we're learning, and it's experiences. So I mean, there's a place for everything. I love the idea of meme coins. I tweeted out somewhere, my wife's a dev, but she's got 2 jobs in outside of crypto. She worked for Motoko for ICP. She's worked, you know, Solidity. And she's not in crypto right now, and she's got 2 jobs going on and stuff like that. But I said, if we had time, we would have built a launch pad, because it's brilliant. And I think it's brilliant if it's done right. And so there's people out there, and that's why we're using the hashtag build on TitanX, and people and people with money. I think Plan A, somebody mentioned this before, the Ethereum whales will come. When there's liquidity, and same thing with Pulse Chain, and I've tweeted this out, bag on Pulse Chain, say all you want about Pulse Chain, but go over there and look at how much DAI is over there. Go over there and look at how much USDC is over there. Go and look at the millions of dollars of stable coins that are over there that are not PDAI, which I'm not bagging on it, but you understand it's liquidable. It's stuff that can be transferred back over to Ethereum or wherever. If there's liquidity, when the bull market particularly shows up, people will come. I promise you, because there's a play there. Pulse Chain's not garbage, because there's tens of millions of dollars of liquidity over there, and it will, I believe it will pump at some point, and that's just that. And so what I'm saying is total value locked, and that's why I'm over here, and I can put it into terms of TitanX. Why am I over here? Well, worst case scenario, I have a few hundred billion of these tokens, right? I have a few hundred billions of these tokens, and if it goes to 0, I'll just go ahead and lock those up so I can go get some of that 369 stake and that 888 stake of what, $10 million today or something, and 3x that on into Ethereum. 3x that's 30 million or whatever, and I'll just go over there. It can go to 0, bro, and there's still $10 million over there of liquidity, and just on and on. I mean, look at the buy and burn. Jake can turn that down, man, and how's that going to hurt? We just turn that down and wait for Ethereum to pump, and it's all golden. I mean, there's liquidity is everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to mansplain, but listen, let me TLDR this for you. Liquidity is everything. No liquidity, no Richie B. Feel me? Liquidity, Richie B. And I'm just one guy, and there's people with money and smarter than me, and they're going to show up when that fucking liquidity is there, bro. And that's what this is all about, because we all want our hands on that liquidity. And what we did is we put our liquidity in there first and had faith. Then a million other people, thousands of other people are going to come in and put their liquidity in there, and we're going to grab our liquidity back out, and it's going to be exponentially more. That's the simplicity of markets, man. I don't care what you're doing. And so I love the idea of loans. I love everything. Meme coins, build on top of it, do it all, you know? I like the NFT project. I like all of this. Personally, I'm just giving you my opinion and where I'm coming from, and build it all, man, and build it and they will come. Just as long as people aren't trying to rip people off, running their games, running their bullshit to try to hurt people. That's it. And I'm going to call it out if I see it, because I just will. And that's how I do it and stuff like that. And you know, I'm not saying I'm always right, but I'm going to call out some shit that I see because I've been around a long time and I've seen the shenanigans. And I'm just going to say this one thing about it. If someone's building on TitanX, the first question should be, what else have you built? They're working for you. Okay. They want your money. They work for you. They're devs. Devs are cool. My wife's a dev. I like devs, but they work for you. You don't work for them. They want your money. So you do it as an interview for a job and go ask them. First thing I would ask somebody if wanted a job from me is, tell me about your experience. Okay. And so what else have you built? and show me what you've built. Where's the white papers for those? How successful were those projects? If you don't ask those questions, the dude's not a dev in Solidity that showed up today, bro. And this is his first shot. I promise you. This guy has built stuff before. Where's your LinkedIn? Where's your shit? And when they show it to you, wow, that went to zero. Oh, wow, that went to zero. Oh, wow, that went to zero. And I'll ask you this question. I'll leave it here. Do you want them building something on your protocol that goes to zero? Because, you know, history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes. So I'm going to call a motherfucker out when I see it, because I don't want to see somebody get their money taken. And I am looking in the background at who these people are and what projects they've built, okay? And what the outcome of those projects have been. So don't think that I'm coming off on some crazy shit when I be like calling a motherfucker out, because there's a reason why, bro. And I'm just saying, if you're in these telegrams, I don't get on Telegram. If you're on Telegram, I'm looking out for you, man. Listen to what I'm saying. A dev has a portfolio, bro. What did you build? And what was the success of that thing? And what else have you built? Because if they're not telling you what they've built, and look at my history and my past, I'm a tattoo artist, bro. I'm a tattoo artist. I've got a whole goddamn portfolio of tattoos. You want to see them? They're amazing, man. That's why I get paid $200 an hour to tattoo as a hobby, pretty much, because my portfolio looks good. And if you want to know about these guys, then they should be saying, because the first thing I do when someone wants to see my tattoo, here's my card, check out my portfolio. And so ask somebody, yo, what else did you build, man? And then go look at it.
Thanks, Richie. Thank you so much. That's again very well said. I think yes, for anyone who is looking at being a founder or building on TitanX, those are just sort of words of wisdom, invaluable contribution here. I think it's in the interest of founders and in the interest of the community that whoever the dev is, or whoever is contracted to build on behalf of the founder is definitely very competent at what they do, and they don't put the community at risk first and foremost. And of course, audits will be expected in order to make sure that the work that the dev has done has been audited, and that a report has been provided, and a reputable auditor or auditors have actually done this work. So that's important. Now, just to mention, in terms of leverage lending, that's definitely something I've never done. I have no interest in doing, not participated in. I'm sure perhaps, those of you here who are more sophisticated than I am in this field perhaps have participated and done that. So the lending protocol I'm talking about is pretty much a very straightforward lending of just putting up a collateral and and making sure that the ratio is maintained in order to avoid liquidation. And of course, in a market that is in a bull market where your collateral itself may very well become more valuable than it was when you deposited it, it probably could make sense. So it's your basic DeFi lending type. Now, so you have liquidity on the one hand, and you also have frax lend, where you don't have any liquidation. It probably is something that builders could look at here. So, because of course there are those who say, listen, I don't want to even have to keep an eye on the ratio of my collateral vis-a-vis the loan I've taken, and always have to think about whether I'm going to be liquidated. And also, you know, the person may very well say, and I don't want to put up 300, 400, or 500% of my of the loan that I've taken to avoid liquidation. So they may say, listen, I just want to have a protocol where I can just borrow from and not think about, not think about liquidation. Frax lend on Ethereum. So both Liquidity and Frax are on Ethereum. These are two protocols that have done quite well. Frax lend doesn't have a liquidation. And it's something perhaps that builders here may want to take a look at. I think it's important for us to have this feedback going where, you know, members of the community are actually telling us or telling, your builders exactly what they would like to see, so that you have a market fit occurring with all this effort of building. So yes, NFTs and NFT protocols have their place. I think we have the launch pads have their place. I think, Hyper is a launch pad, so to speak. That is a launch pad. I think more of those will, with their different tweaks, may very well be, very, very, very good and contribute, in different ways to the community. But what we need to do is to look where those gaps are. Where those gaps are, and to put that information out there, so builders who probably are not making their way up to discuss here can actually look at the information out there and say, okay, this is what the community wants. This is what the TitanX community wants. This is a gap that I'm going to plug. And of course, I think Richie has mentioned this. There's nothing to be shy about. We're here, discussing TitanX and discussing adding value to the entire ecosystem. And bear in mind, even without these third-party projects, that TitanX is programmed to really go deflationary on its own. So, and I believe that's within 200 days or so, without any of these additional protocols built in them. So I think these protocols, all they do, and again, potentially, there's nothing guaranteed here, but potentially what all these additional protocols will do is to bring that moment forward, will bring that deflationary phase forward. And so please bear in mind, TitanX as is definitely a powerful protocol, just in case there's any of us here who's new and wondering what's all this about. It's about adding value to TitanX. It's about building out this ecosystem, which is of course what we all want, and of course making sure that that value is kept in and grown within the ecosystem. I think it's Honey Baby, I think do you want to say something?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for hosting the space. I got into TitanX on day one, and honestly can't appreciate everyone's support. There's like a lot of veterans in the space here that had like all the answers I needed to all my questions. And I was just kind of like over the past little bit researching. The reason I wanted to request a spot to speak was because you mentioned loans, and I was just researching projects that potentially have like an eye-catching idea. And one of the ones I found was called Alchemix.fi. And they have like a self-repaying loan system where you could take out future yield and essentially get up to 50% of your collateral. And I was wondering if a builder would be able to throw something together to maybe utilize the staking features and potentially get a self-repaying loan based off that yield. I don't exactly know how that'd work on the number side, but the idea is definitely eye-catching.
Great, thanks, Honey Baby. These are ideas, and I think any builders out there listening this may be something that you want to look into. The idea of having a loans protocol for TitanX has been mentioned within the dev spaces that we've had. We have about 2 or 3 Telegram groups just on building within TitanX. And this idea of building a loans protocol is something that keeps cropping up. So if it's something that one could take on, if it's something that a dev could take on, is wondering whether there's any demand for this within the community, please, you could feel free to take it forward in terms of doing your research, sounding out the community further, and potentially building out something. Great. Well, thanks, Honey Baby. Thanks for that. So anyone else? Does anyone else have anything else to add?
Something?
Yes, of course. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's regarding the loan protocol. I mean, in my opinion, it might be probably a bit too early for that because, yeah, we're still kind of very early with TitanX, but well, nevertheless, it's still a good idea. I mean, probably just for the users out there. I mean, in general, there is no free lunch, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter if you use Liquidity, where you have a one-time fee to take a loan, and then, yeah, that's more like a long-term loan you take, or you go out somewhere and, I don't know, you have to pay like a yearly fee, like a normal bank loan, let's say. I mean, depending whichever one you choose, it doesn't matter. There is liquidations. There is no world we live in whereby you can take a loan with a collateral and there's no liquidation whatsoever. So from what I'm seeing, most people they haven't educated themselves enough actually to take even these loans, even in Liquidity. I mean, I know people who I'm helping right now actually on Liquidity, on Ethereum. They've taken a loan and they have been liquidated with 230%. And they didn't know that actually that can happen. And yes, it can happen. And so these are some of the things which people really have to be careful, because there is no free lunch. Like, I mean, that's the end of the story. This is life. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of very conservative regarding all these platforms. And I think it has to be very well educated for people what you're doing. And especially for most people, I mean, if you just listen to the homie, what's his name again? Yeah, I forgot his name, but one of my heroes who just died recently. Shout out to, I forgot his name, but anyway, he mentioned the 3 L's, right? Ladies, liquor, and leverage. I mean, well, that is the truth for sure. And Liquidity is a leverage, basically, because if you don't play that right, you're going to get liquidated. And on top of that, Liquidity has also that problem of you can get liquidated with 230%. I'm actually seeing somebody just on YouTube right now. He says Charlie Munger. Yeah, absolutely. It's Charlie Munger. The 3 L's: ladies, liquor, and leverage. Yeah. So guys, don't forget, I mean, it's a leverage and you should definitely be careful. Anyway, that's my 2 sats.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, of course. Any use of the lending protocol must be, if built on TitanX, definitely has to be understood by the participants, and the objective of the participants must be very clear. I mean, if you're putting up collateral for a stable coin, typically, what exactly do you want to use that for, and how do you want to play it? Long or short of it, I think participants should, kind of take the time to understand how these loan protocols work. There are definitely leverage protocols where people put up 20x type, leverage play, and they go. That is a sort of leverage play that I talked about earlier. That is certainly something that I would not want to see. But again, it is a free market, as everyone has said here. That type of leverage play definitely is, I mean, you have people playing a 100x leverage play, pretty much a betting. That is different from taking, you know, a loan against, say, in terms of liquidity, for instance, where you're given you know, you could take 100 and you got to put up collateral of 110% of what you're taking in loans. So if you're taking $100 worth of stable coin loan, you put up 110 worth of ETH. ETH is the collateral over there. So I'm not going to overflog the point. It's not necessarily, you know,
I mean,
what
you should never do it up 110%, by the way. That's like the lowest you
correct.
can go. That's liquidation point.
Absolutely, and that is exactly as I mentioned earlier. People have to make sure that if they're taking you know, putting up a collateral, they decide how much they want to put up. If they don't want to put up, say, 200, 300, 500%, you know, it may be something not for them. They may want to do something else, and that is not something that one is going to suggest here as to what they want to do. But long and short of it, to the extent that it's worth discussing. Is this a protocol that the community would want for TitanX? I think it's better to discuss it openly here. And I think this discussion would help our builders who have had this raised in their various Telegram group as to whether this is something really that the community wants. I think the sense I get, and again, I may be overshooting on this, is that it isn't definitely it isn't a priority for the community. Is the sense I get, and you're absolutely right. It's too early. But if it's being built, I think the earliest it would come in on board will be months down the line. And if you look at the 2080 day mark, where sort of August, September, where we're looking at quite a bit of you know, TitanX coming onto the market. Granted, the third-party projects would be there, but this could be one of the projects that could help soak up any excess, you know, tokens, and that is all. So let us park that if you know, we don't mind. I think we've flogged that a bit, and I think with the protocols that are currently being built, we don't know exactly what they are essentially, but I think within the next week or two, we should know exactly what these protocols are focused on. And of course, that would be a good time, as in within a week or two, to interrogate these protocols. So, yeah. Anybody else? Anybody wants to add anything at all? I think these discussions are very, very useful. So please feel free to come up and air your views here.
Yeah, Ali King, go for it.
Yo, how's it going, folks?
All is well.
Good.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So just with regarding the building of projects, obviously we're still very early, and a lot of builders will not be coming out now to say what they are building, but that's going to change over time. I hear you all talking about meme coins and dexes, and that's absolutely going to start flying in once the first few protocols get launched, no doubt about it. There's a lot of excitement. I myself have been in Jake's mastermind from pretty much the start. We were on weekly calls with Jake when he was building out all the, just when Titan was just an idea. It started off as an idea of a meme coin, and it progressed and grew. Through chats with all folks in the mastermind, it grew and progressed over about 6 months of weekly discussions to become what it became. So it's all got very, very exciting. I'm obviously then, having been involved in the mastermind, a day one Titan OG, and I've been very happy to see, one, the way the protocol is going, and two, the way the community is built. There was we had a lot of faith in Jake, and a lot of the members in the mastermind got behind him a lot. But one sort of thing that we all questioned was, would he be able to build a community? Would Titan get a community? And we have certainly been blown away by the response of everyone. Obviously, a lot of that comes from the performance of the token, the performance of the protocol, the UI that he built, all that stuff all led in and pulled everybody in. But it's been a very exciting few sort of couple of months. And it's definitely going to get more exciting. I am part of the team that are building, part of the Blaze team, and we're building hard. You sort of speak to what your experiences are. Richie, you're saying there about people's experience and wanting to dig back in. You know, there's 8 of us in the group, and, you know, I'm a successful entrepreneur outside of crypto. You know, I'm 45 years old and I'm running my own businesses for 20 years. I've been in the crypto space for about 3 years now. And as a heavy investor, you learn a lot. You learn where is good, and where is good is where the community is good. It's part of the reason why I embedded myself in the Hex and Pulse Chain community. It's part of the reason whenever Jake came out, I seen the value of Jake and his entrepreneurial spirit, seen the value of him. So I decided to step into his community, and that's kind of grown exponentially from there. So, you know, there's a lot of smart guys within our project, a lot of smart guys in the mastermind that we did provide a lot of feedback, a lot of help to build or to create what TitanX became. Obviously, it's Jake's project, but we did give him a lot of feedback. You know, a lot of back and forward. I have, for the last 3 months, building my own project to launch on Pulse Chain. You guys can go and check it out, see the credentials. I've got a great dev team. I will be getting audits. I'm building an NFT project over on Pulse Chain that is designed to actually pull NFT communities together. One of the worst things in crypto is that even when we're all banding together behind the same thing, we still find reasons to fight with each other, you know? And so my focus with my project over on Pulse Chain is to try and unite different, you know, different subsets of the community and bring them together. So we will be, look, I'm saying all this, we will be doing the same thing for what we are building for Titan Blaze. We will be doing the same thing. You know, we're talking about projects, launching projects on TitanX. You know, what's the meme coins, dexes, launch pads. The first and foremost thing that the community needs is stuff that just burns the shit clean out of TitanX. So all the other stuff will come. But that, you know, that's the primary focus of what we're building. And that's got to be the primary focus to get the community behind what you're building. It's got to burn TitanX. That's it. So yeah, look, that's a bit about me. I'd love if you want to check out my credentials, you know, I'm fully doxed. You know, look up Ali Kane on YouTube, look up Ali Kane Pulse Chain on Instagram, look me up, it's Ali Kane on Twitter, and you can check my project. I've got a website called pulsewars.io. You can go there, check out the white paper that I've built. There's a lot of high quality stuff that I'm doing over on Pulse Chain, and I'll be putting my 20 cents into what we are building on TitanX. So yeah, thanks very much for letting me speak. I'm happy to answer any questions too.
Hey, great job, man. And I got to tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Because, you know, I'm not saying it's what it is because I got to see more, but I pick winners, and I'm telling you, you can ask my wife, the #1 project that I saw being built so far is Titan Blaze. And I don't get into the telegrams. Just from what I saw, I've already looked you up. I got it. Good job.
Yeah. So, but we're obviously in a position now where, and I look, if you want to check out my credentials, I mean, whenever you create a Telegram group for for your project that you're building, who's the first person that you invite? All right, it's probably most likely going to be somebody that you respect, you want their feedback, you want them to be part of the project. If you go back and look at Jake's TitanX Telegram group, I was the very first person that he invited to chat about TitanX when it was just a simple idea. So that's part of my credentials for where I am in this community and where I wanted to go to. It'll take you quite a long time to actually scroll all the way back to the very start of that Telegram group. But if you do, my name's the first person in there.
Yeah, I did look at it actually, and so I already looked you up, and I was approached by somebody who said I was in the mastermind, and they said something about Titan Blaze. They DM'd me, and so I looked it up, and they said there was before you guys started posting. So there is a lot there, and I also tweeted something saying if you want to know about these projects, the same thing. I said the same thing. I don't know if you saw it. Look, if you want to know about these projects, look at who they're following. And immediately you see, of course, the project's going to follow the founder first, and usually, right? And some people that are key people. I already tweeted this. If anybody's listening, 81 likes on that tweet. I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. So, but even on that note, again, you go and look at who the first person invited in. I'm on the Titan Blaze team, but I was the first person invited into the TitanX Telegram, so I know the founder of TitanX extremely well. And I'll still just say this in defense of the founder over there, that who he follows does, and I don't mean any disrespect, but who he follows and who he followed does not exactly, for me, shine a perfect light on his intentions. I highly respect the guy, and I think he'll do a great job at burning TitanX. Not as good as Titan Blaze, not as good as Titan Blaze, but there's definitely an element to who they follow and all that sort of stuff. But well, for me, that part wasn't the be all and end all. I think that TitanX will do very well as well, and it does have its heart set on benefiting the community. Yes, we're as developers, we put in that and project builders, we want paid for the work that we do. We're all in crypto to make money. We do put a primary focus on helping the community, but we do got to make money too as well.
Ali Kane, absolutely. And of course, I'm sure that you're aware of this. With TitanX, it is designed so that you make money, that you are rewarded, the incentives are aligned for projects that are built and executed, properly. I think we've gone over the broken systems of the ICOs and the sacrifice type fundraising that really misaligns incentives to such an extent that it simply destroys the project itself, and of course hurts the community in a big way. And I wouldn't want to go over that again over here, but I think Richie has alluded to it as well. We really don't want that behavior in TitanX, and that is why our builders are, very much encouraged to understand the principles of TitanX and to do it the right way, because in a way, you would really be, TitanX pretty much is built within this movement of fair crypto, as you know, but the builders within TitanX will be pioneers of a kind. They'll be pioneers showing the way to a lot of builders within the crypto space that it is doable, that you can actually build, deliver, and earn from what you've built. And of course, that is not just the most ethical approach. It keeps really the regulators at bay. We all know exactly, again, the risks with raising funds through ICOs and the type of sacrifice type approaches. They're fraught with legal issues. So this is really an opportunity, is long and short of it. TitanX is an opportunity for our builders to earn, to build and deliver, market fit projects and to earn from these projects. So
in effect, TitanX is not a charity, and neither are the builders. Here, they will get paid once they build a market fit project. We're still, in a very competitive space. So definitely your words are absolutely correct. Devs will need to get paid. And I think in addition to that, the community needs to be protected, and I don't, when I say protected, I mean, we shouldn't be in a position where founders are taking advantage of their community and taking such advantage of communities where they really hurt them seriously, hurt them badly. And we only need to look and see what's happened over the last, 2 years, 3 years to just people are hurting. So we can get that balance right is the long and short of it.
Yeah, well, look, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that just even by being in this space and listening to the things that are talking about, you guys are obviously here to help to protect and to help build the community and projects. I think there's enough smart people within this community that anybody that does try to sort of do a fast one, I don't know if that translates into all the other languages, but try to pull the wool over people's eyes and do a money grab or build something that's not quite right. There's too many smart people within this community for people to get away with things like that. Yes, there will be absolute dung meme coins get launched, and people will throw TitanX at it for a quick buck. And there probably will be a few rug pulls, but there's enough intelligence within this community. And we were again within GX Mastermind, within a lot of the things, the values that we all kind of shared in that mastermind and in the Titan Blaze team of founders. We were all early participants in Zen. We're all day one Zen OGs as well. Maybe not all of us, but I know a fair amount of us are. And what drew us in that was a lot of things Jack spoke about fair crypto. It was a fair launch, yada yada yada. So I personally don't get into anything unless I'm actually trying to bring value to the project, to the community, or whatever it may be. So I think we're in an exciting space. Within this particular community, it's a very exciting time to be here. And yeah, we'll be working with our best intentions. And you guys are doing a great job making sure that the people that come in have the community's best intentions as well. So I've got a bounce here. I know I came in a bit of a swoop there, but listen, thanks very much for having me on, and look forward to the next few months. It's going to be very, very, it's going to be an absolute whirlwind of a time. So yeah, great job, guys. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Ali King. Thank you. And you're really an example of the sort of builders that I believe will bring value, and that we are definitely looking forward to working with and achieving great success. So thank you. And we're looking forward to Titan Blaze. Thanks again. So if anyone else wants to say something or contribute, please feel free. I think we've had a really good discussion about with the information available. We've had a good discussion about projects that are being built and those that might be under consideration. And I think we should for the rest of this month, probably dedicate the next sessions to builders. And I think as the weeks progress, we will be getting more and more information concerning the projects that are being built. I think just to recap, again, we are going to have the founder of Titan Legends with us next session. And that's on the 14th. And he will go over the NFT project that he's building. Again, his name is Rudy Carzotti. And yeah, we look forward to having him next session. Now, if there are no further comments to be made, I will suggest that we bring this session to a close. We've just got to hit the 2-hour mark. So, yes, if there are no further comments, I would suggest we bring the session to a close. So, Mike, Richie, can we have your closing remarks, please?
I will just go ahead and say, yeah. So thank you very much for everybody who is listening. Thank you, Plan A, for organizing this. And obviously, I'm helping out here as much as I can. And yeah, Richie B, always glad that you're around. Give us some nice insights. Thank you very much for that. And all the people on YouTube. This is amazing. Thanks very much. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I think I said it in the live stream as well. I crossed around 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, so it's absolutely amazing and crazy. I can't believe it, but I'm just, yeah, I don't think about it much. I just keep on going and then seeing where we're going to end. Thank you very much, and enjoy your evening.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who showed up, and it's an honor to be part of the community and to be involved in this. I've been, in crypto a long time and never got involved in any of the communities, Hex, Matic, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I've never gotten involved in any of the communities, and this is the first time that I've really done it, and I'm glad I did. And I'm glad and honored to be with you guys, all so many intelligent people. I keep saying it, and I'm not making this up, man. I'm not trying to stroke an ego. You guys are really smart, aware community, and it's great seeing all the tweets and we got Crypto Kindness. He doesn't get in here, but he's doing his thing on YouTube, and there's all kind of people doing their own thing and stuff like that. And just from a personal perspective, if I say anything, I hope that people understand my position is out of positivity and love, even if it can seem kind of harsh, and I rarely try to do that, but I really care about crypto in general, and I care about people. If you haven't learned that, look through my tweets. I care about you guys. I care about myself. I care about you guys, and I just, we've seen some real terrible things in crypto, and I really don't want to see anybody wrecked, man. I mean, I'm fortunate. Everything I have in crypto right now, I could lose it all, and I'd still never have to work another day of my life. And I'm fortunate, and I'm not bragging, but it's possible in crypto. It's possible in life. And just everything I say and do, I hope people understand it's out of love, and I really don't want to see anyone wrecked. That's my biggest fear, and it will happen. I promise you, it will happen, because it happens every cycle. But be diligent, do your own research. Don't listen to me only, or Plan A only, or Jake only. Think for yourself, do your own homework, use all the tools that are out there. There's analytics, there's data, there's people out there. And don't spend more money than you can afford to lose, man. All that kind of stuff. In Hex, and Matic, the things that I messed with, you could put, $1,000 in the first 90 days and you'd be very, very wealthy. Okay. And we're not even at 90 days yet. And this is Matic, Hex, these ideas, very, very early, especially with miners. The cost base is so low. It's really hard to get wrecked. $1,000 in the first 90 days, you can do very, very well. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And thank you, Plan A, for allowing me to be part of this with you. And I didn't know anybody in this at all. I wasn't in any mastermind. I wasn't in anything with anyone. I didn't know one of you people before I started this. And so thank you for trusting me. Every person that likes my tweets and listens to what I have to say. Plan A, thank you for trusting me. Mike D, thank you for all you do. You're a hardworking guy. Mo, Adam, everyone up here, every one of you guys, most of you I know from being on Twitter and just being around, and love you all, and be safe out there.
Thank you. Just to be clear, Richie, you are, you are understated, and probably it's the best way to be. But the gravitas you bring to to this space and the conversations here is, it's really appreciated. And I'm sure I speak for everyone as well. We're all, working towards making sure that TitanX is the success that we believe it will be. And I must say thanks everyone as well. Thank you for your attendance and support. Without you, this would not be possible at all. So please, thank you. Now, for all that has been discussed here today, a couple of things. Nothing here should be regarded or treated as financial advice. I think that should go without saying, but we do have to say it anyway. And we are not endorsing any projects, or haven't endorsed and are not endorsing any projects, so that are being proposed to be built. So I think it's important to note that we all make sure that we study these projects that are being proposed. Of course, we're going to subject these projects to scrutiny, and you could actually see here the debates, the open debates on ideas here and so on. But that is not sufficient. I think Richie has mentioned that. Please, go the extra step or they go the extra mile and make sure that you conduct your own personal due diligence with respect to these projects. And and that really is the best approach. So I think on that note, I'll say Happy New Year again to everyone. And yes, we've come to the end of today's session. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.